Before I begin, I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel if you love real, raw stories about love, betrayal, and heartbreak. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments at the end. I'd really like to hear what you think about this one. It all started with a small, almost meaningless touch, or at least that's what I told myself at first. I was lying on the couch one evening scrolling through my phone when I noticed her hand brush against mine. It wasn't casual. It lingered for just a moment too long. A touch that felt like it belonged to someone else, someone's secret. I froze. My heart started to race. I wanted to ask her, confront her, demand answers, but I couldn't find my voice. I told myself it was nothing, that maybe I was imagining things. After all, we had promised each other forever, hadn't we? That's what love was supposed to be, trusting each other. Even when doubts whispered in the dark. But then came the signs. Small, subtle, almost invisible to anyone else. Missed calls she would dismiss as work-related. Texts that she hid when I entered the room. The way she sometimes tensed when I asked about her day, or glanced at her phone with a flicker of guilt I could feel from across the room. I began to question myself first. Was I imagining this? Was I overreacting? Had I changed, become too distant, too boring, too predictable? But the gnawing feeling in my gut refused to be silenced. It grew into a constant ache, a shadow that clung to every conversation, every smile, every quiet evening we spent together. Then came the evidence I couldn't ignore. I was cleaning the living room one afternoon when a small notification popped up on her tablet, an app one didn't recognize, showing a conversation with a man named Rohan. My pulse jumped. I didn't read it at first, hoping my fear was unfounded, that perhaps it was just an old contact or a misunderstanding. Curiosity and dread got the better of me. I glanced at the messages. Flirtatious, intimate, casual in a way that no ordinary friendship should ever be. Lines like, "I wish you were here," and "can't stop thinking about you," sprawled across the screen, each word a dagger to my heart. I felt sick, shaking like the ground had fallen out beneath me. The world I had trusted, my marriage, my love, our forever, collapsed quietly around me. Memories I had cherished now felt like lies. The mornings she kissed me awake, the nights we shared laughter and whispered dreams, the vacations we planned together. All of it suddenly seemed fragile, fragile as glass, ready to shatter. For days I wrestled with my emotions. Anger, grief, disbelief, and heartbreak mingled until I could hardly breathe. I remembered the promise we had made, forever. But forever, I now realized, had a hidden condition she had kept from me. I questioned myself constantly. Was it my fault? Had I missed the signs? Was I too naive, too trusting? Finally, I couldn't endure the uncertainty any longer. One evening, I asked her to sit down with me. My hands were trembling, my chest tight with fear and anticipation. "I know about Rohan," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Her face went pale. She tried to look away, but guilt betrayed her. I didn't mean for this to happen," she said. "It was a mistake. I felt lonely and I don't know. I wasn't thinking." Her confession was like a mirror, reflecting both our pain. I heard her remorse, her fear, her justification. But remorse, no matter how sincere, couldn't undo the betrayal. It couldn't erase the broken trust, the hollow ache where love had once lived freely. We spent hours talking, sometimes in silence, sometimes in tears. I asked her about the little moments that had now become poisoned, about the evenings she said she was busy, the sudden trips she claimed were for work, the messages she deleted so quickly. She answered as honestly as she could, offering explanations, regrets, and apologies. But the answers didn't make the pain go away. The turning point came quietly, not in an argument, not in a dramatic confrontation, but in a realization. I couldn't stay in a life built on secrets and deceit. I had to choose myself. I had to reclaim my dignity, my self-respect, and my peace of mind. The next morning, I packed a small bag. When she asked why, I didn't yell, I didn't cry. I simply said, "I need to find myself again." Walking out of the door, I felt grief, yes, but also clarity. For the first time in weeks, I felt a sense of control, a sense of choice. I wasn't a victim of her betrayal. I was a survivor reclaiming my life. In the months that followed, I rebuilt slowly. I allowed myself to grieve, to feel anger, sadness, and loss. But I also started to find small joys again. The quiet strength that comes from standing alone, the resilience born from heartbreak, and the clarity that comes from knowing your worth. I don't hate her. I don't even hate myself for loving as deeply as I did. I understand now that love can falter, that people make mistakes, and that trust is fragile. What matters is how you respond, how you reclaim your dignity, rebuild your life, and remember that you deserve honesty, respect, and a love that doesn't hide behind secrecy or forbidden touches. The scars of betrayal remain, yes, but they also remind me that I am strong, that I survived, and that I can love again, with myself first, and with clarity and courage.